Hey folks, my name's Chef Jean Paul Bourgeois. I'm here in Kansas City at the American Royal, and I'm going to show you how to master the art of leftovers using barbecue. It's a barbecue pork and shrimp, dirty rice, done all on the Blackstone Griddle. Now I have some fresh green onions and some garlic. We already have the green bell peppers and the onions cut up. I just like to remove my tips of my green onions that I'm not going to use, and then just give a good thin slice to the green onions. Now I go all the way down greens and whites because I use them in two different methods. I'll use my greens to finish off the food, to garnish, and then once I get to these white section, I'll kind of separate that out, and then I have this. And this will be a part of when I cook and fry the pork on the griddle. The green onions, the yellow onion, the green bell pepper will all go on there with it together. So I got a hot griddle, very important. When you're doing this recipe especially, it's really important that we get a nice caramelization on the pork. We have a little lard. This is my cooking fat I'm going to be using for this recipe. You want to get it nice and hot. You can see the griddle just smoking right here. It's ready for you. Then I'm going to just take some of this beautiful pork and go right on the griddle with that. I'm not gonna waste any time before I put my peppers, onions, and then my green onions. I'm gonna actually go ahead and add a little bit more pork here. Dirty rice gets its name from its color, actually. So you would use chicken livers or gizzards or hearts or ground pork to really caramelize that and get it brown, and that's what gave color to the rice. Obviously it gave a bunch of flavor. Now we're not using any of the offal parts of the chicken, just some beautiful smoked barbecue pork. However, I still want to get all that color and caramelization happening within the pork and all the onions and peppers. And that's how you're going to get a delicious, nice, depth, complex, dirty rice. All right, I'm going to let this fry here on the griddle for about 5 to 10 minutes. I like to add my garlic towards the middle half of the cook here because it has so much sweetness. I really don't want it to burn on that griddle. Then you can just give it a nice low rough chop. I'm going to go pretty fine for right here. You really just want to get it chopped down. You give too much thought, just give it a couple run pass right here. All right, and then here I go. You sprinkle it right in. All right, continue to give that a stir. Look how nice and caramelized that's getting. I got a couple of little tricks here. I like to add a little barbecue rub at this point because at this point I'm about 90% there. A little barbecue rub is just gonna add another little touch of spice, another little touch of savoriness, and when I stir that on there, as it makes contact with all that fat and that griddle, that's when it start to bring more deepness and rich color to the final dish. At this point, you can spread your meat out along the griddle. And the reason why is because when you add the rice, you really want the rice to get down and really make contact with the griddle. So I'm just gonna scatter that. You see me, it's just going around. And I'm okay if it goes up to the sides. I'm gonna give it a couple little turns to get that rice nice and mixed in here. At this point, we're ready to add the shrimp. I'm gonna add a little salt, a little more barbecue rub. Now I have my rice and my shrimp that's built into the mixture. I'm gonna use a little bit of beer to go right on top. Hear that sizzle? And then I'm gonna use my Blackstone dome to cover it. All right, it's been about 3-4 minutes with the dome on. That rice is hot, it's all ready to go. I'm gonna take the dome off. I really want to let it evaporate, whatever moisture's in there evaporate. So we give it a couple stirs. You can see the shrimp is cooked. You can see that rice is taking on that brown kind of mahogany color from all that caramelization. It's looking right. It's looking real right, but we're not gonna know until we taste it. Always make sure you taste food, especially rice dishes, grain dishes. I find they always need more salt than you think, or seasoning. And I'm right again. A touch of more salt, we're good. I'm gonna finish it with just about all my green onions. All right, time to plate up. The green onions are in there. Everything's nice and cooked. That looks beautiful. Then we go a little bit of green onions right on top just to finish it off. And that, my friends, is your barbecue pork and shrimp dirty rice cooked all on the Blackstone Griddle. You can get this recipe and more like it at blackstoneproducts.com.